At the heart of this video is the attorney-client relationship ending and what that looks like in a divorce setting, and just to help you know more about why certain things may be playing out with your lawyer as they are. So, what I find really interesting about this, I guess I'll call it series that we've been posting on YouTube, is that we're getting documents that have actually been used in court, not by our firm, but by attorneys successfully, and then redacting this information that's very sensitive so that you can see what it looks like to have these things play out and what actually worked and what was actually granted in court. So what I'm showing you right now is a Dallas agreed motion to withdraw, and this is a format that we use in Bexar County, that we've seen in Harris County. It's supposed to work all throughout the entire state of Texas, and in many states, actually I don't know because I haven't looked it up, but I would expect that in all states the process is essentially the same, but you'll have to check your individual state. So the process of getting off of a case when you're a lawyer, once you filed a pleading, meaning you filed something like this into a case and you signed it on behalf of a person in a lawsuit, you are the attorney of record on that case. So that means that you can't just stop helping that person until you formally have gone through a legal process to remove yourself. Usually what happens is the client is no longer wanting to pay per the terms of their contract for whatever reason. Maybe they can't afford it, maybe they don't find it valuable service, but that's usually the reason for an attorney withdrawal. But what we'll talk about here is you have to list a reason, but usually you just say that you're unable to communicate. That's because you have to maintain your privilege. Even if this attorney is leaving this client, the attorney has to maintain their privilege. Everything that the client told them maintains. So in this case, it's very interesting to me that the lawyer listed that petitioner has announced his intention not to pay for the legal fees charged by the attorney for services rendered, but instead to file for bankruptcy and to include his attorney on the list of creditors. So they put here what the client said and why ultimately they're stopping services. If that wasn't in a public forum, that's very risky for this lawyer to do, because many ways to look at that could be that it's privileged. So what we most often see is just a line that says the attorney is unable to communicate with petitioner. So they're filing this agreed motion to withdrawal, and it doesn't have to be agreed, it's just a motion to withdrawal. In this case, it's agreed because the client is agreeing to it, and they have the ways to reach the client, and of course that is redacted, but that's the ways to reach the client there. And then all the settings are listed in Exhibit A. So let's see what that looks like. This is a document that doesn't have to be filed, but it says, I, client, am the petitioner, and I do want my lawyer off the case, and that is something the lawyer used to support. You have to have a certificate of service to prove that each person of relevance to the case, so the other attorney if there is one, other party if there is one, and your own client is served with notice that you're getting off of the lawsuit. And this is really important in a motion to withdraw. For it to be approved, you have to show the court all of the current, most essential dates, especially when everything is due, because, and what basically the status of the case is, so that somebody else can pick it up and the judge can know where it left off. So right now, in this case, the husband is supposed to be paying wife $12.85 to the wife's attorney's office. He's supposed to be making monthly spousal support payments of $12.85. He's supposed to be paying the mortgage, and he's supposed to return $500 to wife. And if we went into the facts of the case, we would know why he's enjoined from coming near the house, or he's stopped from coming within the house. When you file a motion to withdrawal, you have to get a setting, and that means you have to coordinate with the court to go in front of the judge and present an order. So all this takes time and labor, And that's why we're going to talk about what's best to do in these circumstances. So an order to withdraw has to be presented and filed, and if the judge agrees, he'll take the person off the case. So that is basically what a motion of withdrawal looks like. And what I want to talk about is the fact that sometimes it really feels personal that the lawyer is getting off the case, so a person will contest or try to fight the lawyer getting off of the lawsuit. I don't recommend you to do that. If your attorney is trying to get off of the lawsuit because you just didn't pay a bill, then you could call and say, if I pay the bill, can we continue? Most likely they'll say yes. But if it's run deeper than that and things have broken down, it's best to not fight, because you probably have in your terms of contract that the lawyer can charge you for the labor involved with getting off of their lawsuit. You could end up with a hefty legal bill depending on the hourly rate. Just to get this to happen, the judge is highly likely to let you off the case because you've communicated to the judge that you're unable to communicate, which means that if that lawyer does any more action on this case, the case is probably appealable and the judge doesn't want to be overturned. So you are going to end up losing trying to fight your attorney getting off of the case. If you want to part as friends, as it were, which is what we're always talking about, is what a person probably should have done to save on legal fees and settle the case faster, just agree to the motion of withdrawal, or just give your lawyer a call, see if you could pay the bill. If not, agree to the motion of withdrawal so that it's less labor and less money for you. Okay, so that's a motion withdrawal, and this entire thing is downloadable as a PDF for you to review at the link below. Thank you for stopping by, and if this is useful, feel free and please do subscribe.